Hi and welcome back to my vlog. I am talking about depression today. This is the fourth installation on the depression series that I've been working on. I've noticed quite a few people watching it, and so I'm hoping that I am reaching someone out there that really needs this information. This particular self-help series is not so much for entertainment, is because this is something that's close to my heart that I feel called to speak into and to help other people with. As I've mentioned it before, it is something that I've been through personally and would like to share how I overcame it, and hopefully can help somebody else overcome it. So hopefully you've watched episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. So this is episode 4, and we're going to talk about journaling and how journaling can help you with alleviating depression.
Been around the world, I've been searching up and down, never found someone who can love me like you. Love me like you.
But first, before we do that, I'd like to introduce myself. If this is your first time running into me, my name is Lisa Kinoti. I'm a singer and songwriter first. Originally from Nairobi, Kenya, but residing in the USA. You can call me Lisa Kinoti. That's what my American friends call me. Or you can call me Kinoti. That's what my Kenyan friends call me. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it. I am happy that you just joined me today. So back to what we were saying. So you may be sitting there watching me, and maybe you just clicked on this video because you know me and you wanted to see what I was talking about. Let me see what she's talking about. Maybe you clicked on this video out of just sheer curiosity. You don't know me, but you were just curious because you like the thumbnail, whatever. But there's somebody out there, you clicked on this video because the topic caught your attention, because you have experienced or are experiencing depression in your life right now as we speak. I'm really hoping that you go back and watch the first 3 episodes before you watch this, because this is a series where, I'm walking you through this process. I always say that I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a doctor, I'm a self-help junkie. I'd like to help people and help myself. I've done a lot of studying, talked to a lot of doctors. I have very valid sources for everything that I put out here. I'm not putting out here information that I just came up with that has no that you can't check the facts on. You can check the facts on everything that I put out here, and sometimes I will even put a reference point for you to refer to where I got the information. So you're sitting there and you're watching me and you're saying, I clicked on this video because I'm going through depression. I'm feeling down all the time, which on episode 1 we talked about the symptoms of depression and the different types of depression there are. I encourage people to always get professional help if this is something that is out of control for you. And you're also watching me and you're saying, well, I want to see what she has to say about this and how this can help me. My depression videos are usually longer than my other videos, longer than my entertainment videos or the comedy videos or just other topics that I talk about. And the reason for that is because I want to go in depth on this, because I know if you're sitting there and you clicked on this because you're going through this, you're not doing anything else in your life right now. You have plenty of time to watch this video. You have plenty of time to invest in this information, to sit there and learn and understand what it is that that you can do to get over this hump in your life. And what I want to tell you right now, as you're sitting there looking at me, is I want you to realize that I'm doing this because I care about this, because I want to help you. I want to help people out there because I've been there. So I understand exactly how you feel. And as long as you're aware of that, we can work on this together. I encourage you to join my group. I'm collecting my group of people that are of like mind, that, we're just helping each other through this journey of life. And to join, you don't have to sign anything. You don't have to declare that I've joined. All you have to do is keep watching these videos that I'm putting out, subscribe in the end, and that way you can actually, every time I post, you can get these videos. And it's a step-by-step process that we're working on, and we're growing together, and hopefully we can get each other to the point where we feel like we're enjoying our lives, we're exhilarated again, and then you can go on and help other people as well. So having said that, we're going to talk about journaling today as a way to beat depression. Last time we talked about triggers. If you haven't watched that, go watch it, and how the triggers actually, how different things in life can trigger you, and how you need to be aware of that, so that you can avoid things that actually put you back into a depressive episode. So journaling is a very exciting topic for me, because it is something that I do myself. I have so many different types of journals, and I'll tell you about that here a little later. But first, I want to talk about why journaling is considered as one of the things that the tool that is amazing in beating depression. For some of you, this is the first time you're hearing this. Maybe you don't know about journaling, or you don't understand how journaling can help with that. So we're going to go right into it. I'm going to say, I always start off with something that I learned myself. HowLifeUnfolds.com says that those who journal find writing to be a powerful and surprisingly accessible means to insight, healing, growth, and change. And I will explain here in a little bit why that is. This source also claims that research has revealed that a popular brand of blank books is estimated to sell more than 1 million copies a year. 1 million copies of blank books. So, honey, please understand, journaling is something that a lot of people do. This is not a brand new concept. A lot of people out there journal. A lot of people out there go and buy blank books so that they can write their feelings down and thoughts down, because somehow it's helping them. And most people don't even understand how it helps. When I first started journaling, I didn't understand how it worked. All I knew is that it helped. So we're going to get into that today. Wikipedia. Famous Wikipedia. Wikipedia describes journal therapy as a type of writing therapy that focuses on the interior thoughts, experiences, and feelings of the person that is writing. It uses reflective writing so that the writer can receive mental and emotional clarity, validate experiences, and come to a deeper understanding of himself or herself. So those are my sources on what journaling is considered to be out there. Now, to me personally, journaling is when I sit down and I write down my thoughts on this blank book. I buy really attractive books so that it encourages me to write in there. And so I'll write down my thoughts, good thoughts, bad thoughts, whatever it is that is going on with me. And I'm surprised every time by how much insight I get out of that, how much I'm able to learn out of the things that I'm writing when I go back and read them. So what are the different types of journals? We have daily journals. Some people keep daily journals, and every day they write either their experiences, their thoughts. They write it in there in the morning, or they write in there at the end of the day. But also under daily journals, I put myself, I say you have, your journal, your feelings journal. This is the journal that you write in every time you feel confused or hurt or happy, excited. Any extreme feelings, you go in and you write them in that journal. Now, a lot of teenagers journal. I started journaling when I was a teenager. I don't know why, and I don't know how kids and teenagers know this, but there's power in writing down your thoughts. And if you ask them why they were doing it, they'll be like, I don't know, I just like journaling, It's a beautiful thing, some people do gratitude journals. This is a journal that I also have. A gratitude journal is somewhere where you write what you're thankful for every day. I'm going to explain here in a little bit why gratitude journaling is so good for you. You have scrapbook journaling. I just started doing this. Actually, my scrapbook journal is empty right now because I don't know where to start. But people who do scrapbook journaling, they kind of use it almost like a vision board. They'll tear pages off magazines and newspapers and just pictures and stuff that they like, places they'd like to go, things they'd like to do. Like in my journal, I'm actually planning on pasting a picture of a brand new Mustang, because that's in my future somewhere. I love Mustangs, and I would love to own a brand new Mustang. And so that is a picture that I would put on my scrapbook journal. So most people who do scrapbook journaling, most of them do it in a futuristic way, and people call it vision boards and stuff, where you put pictures of places you want to go, things you want to do, things you aspire for, things you want to own, houses, stuff like that. And I encourage you to do that. If you don't know what vision boards are, I encourage you to look that up so that you can see there's power in writing, there's power in collecting pictures and visions of things that you want to do, because eventually you find that those things come in your life, or you're going to do those things because you're putting a vision out there. So I do encourage scrapbook journaling. Also, some people do scrapbook journaling for things that they've done, places they've visited, pictures of places that they've traveled. It's almost like having a photo album. Travel journaling is another form of scrapbook journaling. Some people don't scrapbook into it. They just write where they've been and what they're doing. And so with my travel journaling, I do it online because I want to share with people what I'm traveling, where I'm going to and what experiences I'm having. So it's however you want to do that. Then you have a prayer journal. Some people have a prayer journal where they write their prayers, or they write their wishes, their visions, things that they would like to happen in their life. There's power in writing. There's power in words. We're not going to go deep into that, look into that. But some people also call it affirmation journals. I have an affirmation journal, and this is where I write down. It's just like prayer. You write down the things that you would like to believe, the things that you'd like to happen. In other videos in the past, we've talked about your belief system and trying to figure out, is your belief system working for you or against you? And this is where affirmation journals come in. When you find out that it's something you want to do, but you do not feel like you can do it, then you need to change that belief, which means that you write down affirmations. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that here in a few minutes. So, prayer or affirmation journals are amazing. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the dream journal. I have a dream journal. A lot of people have dream journals. The reason that I have a dream journal is because sometimes you have a dream. Dreams have meanings. I don't know what your belief system is. I don't know what your religion is and what your religion believes about journaling. Or even if you don't have a religion, you just think that dreams are cool and interesting. A dream journal is great, because the reason I like dream journaling is because dreams are your subconscious mind's way of telling you what is going on with you. When you're asleep is when you are least resistant of what's going on. You can't fight thoughts, and so your brain finds a way to tell you what your fears are, what your aspirations are, what you thought about the most during that day. Some people even say what you ate that night affects your dreams, or what you were watching that day. And so sometimes I'll have a dream, and when I wake up and I think about this dream, I realize it's because I was obsessing over a certain topic. I was obsessing over a certain problem in my life, and maybe in the dream I found the solution. Man, I'm telling you, dreams are amazing. I don't know what your belief about dreams is, but writing down your dreams and going back and reading that journal and what you wrote about what dreams you were having, you will be amazed at the things that you find out about your dreams. So those are the different types of journals that there are. Now let's talk about the different benefits of journaling. Writing by hand activates neural circuits in your brain. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a class or you're trying to learn something new, most people write notes, and you write notes and you wonder, why am I writing this note? Sometimes you don't even come back and read them, but somehow writing those things down actually kind of puts it in your brain and leaves it in your brain. Now go do your research for this on your own. I don't want to take this video going too long. I'm talking about this, but when you're writing and those new neural circuits are being formed, and new neural pathways in your brain are being formed, that also helps with your memory, and it accentuates your memory, which makes it easier to learn and remember things. So this is more in the learning area. But it also helps you with problem solving, and we're going to go into this in a little bit. Therapists call journals a constant presence. To me, that means that a journal is like a friend. If you're going through a time in your life when you may have friends, you may have relatives, you may have people around you, but they don't understand you. You feel like you don't know how to explain to them what you're going through, especially under this topic of depression. Sometimes we feel like we cannot describe to people who haven't been through it what we're going through. Journaling is a good way to put down your feelings and feel like you actually did talk to someone. So to some people, a journal is actually your best friend. you have this journal with you all the time. Every time you need it, you can pull it out, you can write your feelings into it, you pour out your feelings into it. And a lot of people do get attached to their journal. And so this is a good way to feel like you have a friend who is listening to you. They're not talking back to you or judging you, and that's your journal. That friend that understands all the time. Writing by hand is similar to meditating. Why do we say that? I don't know how many of you are familiar with meditating, and some people look at meditation from a weird standpoint. We're not going to go into that. You may not even know what it is, but you just think that it's weird or whatever. But from what I have learned about meditation, it is a way to bring your mind into the presence. When you sit down and you concentrate on one thing, you're pretty much meditating. You don't have to sit there and hum or do other stuff that maybe Eastern religions do. No, meditating is, even the Bible talks about meditation. Different religions talk about meditation. Pretty much what it means is you pick a topic and you sit down there and you think about it. So meditation, if we went deeper into it, you don't have to pick a topic and think about it. You could just be in the sense of being. Sit there and you close your eyes and you pretty much just relax and try to not obsess over your thoughts, and you try to be present in the moment. So you're letting go of your worries about what you did in the past that you regret, and you're letting go of your worries about what's going to happen tomorrow or in the future. You're just in the moment. Do you want to do your research on that? Go ahead. We're not going to go deep into that. But the reason that many experts say that journaling is like meditation is because when you sit down to write in your journal, you pretty much are so engrossed in that moment, you're so concentrated in that moment, what you're writing down, that you, with people who are depressed, you notice that, especially if you have anxiety as well, you're constantly thinking and worrying, and all these thoughts are rushing through your mind. But when you're sitting down and you're writing, you concentrate on what you're writing. You're watching your hand glide, and you're watching the shapes of the letters, and you're watching, and your thoughts are going straight into the words. At that moment, you're not thinking about the things that worry you. If you have phobias, you're not thinking about the phobias at that moment. I notice, like, when I fly, I always enjoyed flying until, some things happened in the past year that kind of started making me afraid of flying. But then the way that I started overcoming that fear was whenever I get on the flight, and when we were taking off, I would sit there and I think about happy things. Like if I'm going somewhere where there's an ocean or the beach, I think about, oh my God, how much fun it's gonna be being by the ocean and the people I'm gonna meet. And then I would think about the flying experience is a great thing because it's taking me to that destination. That's a form of meditating. But also the other thing I would do is whenever we would get into turbulence, which is where you're flying and the plane starts to shake because you have these bumps in the air, just like you have on the road. And I'm not an aero technician expert to explain what that is, but it's normal when you're flying. But then a lot of people feel nervous about that because you want a smooth flight. You don't want to feel the plane shaking. It makes you feel out of control. I would sit down and I would start writing. And while I'm writing, I'm concentrating on the writing. That's why they say it's like meditation. It brings you to the presence. And then I would forget about the turbulence and I would get lost in what I'm writing. This is why journaling is so good and so powerful. This is why a lot of people find journaling very therapeutic when they're in a situation that causes anxiety. So the other thing it does, I have to gather my thoughts, is it helps you to clarify your thoughts and feelings, gaining more insight into yourself. When you're journaling, when you're writing down, you tend to put it all on paper, so your brain is now, I'm not going to say empty. I don't think there's ever a time your brain is completely empty, but I'm going to say that it gives you the space in your brain to think now. You're not as crowded in there. So you can take all those thoughts when you feel confused and put them down on paper, and you find that you clear your thoughts and you're able to think even more clearly, and that we're going even deeper into that. It gives you an emotional release. So you got this thing that you're holding inside you, feeling angry, or feeling anger, you're feeling confusion, you're feeling hurt, when you put it in on paper, you're releasing, just like talking to someone, just like going and talking to a therapist or talking to your best friend. It releases those feelings out of you, you're letting them out of you, putting them out here, and it takes that load off you. If you don't believe me, go write down. Next time you feel these heavy emotions, take a piece of paper and write those feelings down, and you start to feel this release, because you're taking it out of you, you're taking it out of your body, and you're putting it out here. Because the reason that a lot of us go into depression is you're internalizing those feelings that you have. You don't tell anyone, you don't write it down, you put them even deeper in you, and you internalize them. They become a part of you, and now they're part of your DNA, and you just, everything you do in life, you look at it from those glasses. We're going to talk about perception and perspective soon, but you're looking at life through those glasses of those negative feelings that you've internalized. So everything that happens to you, you look at it as negative. Everyone that approaches you, you look at them as negative, and you think they're about to say negative things to you and do negative things to you. So journaling is a good way to release those negative emotion. It creates a temporary detachment that's facilitating problem solving. This is a point that I wanted to get to. This is what I was building up to. Now, detaching yourself, it sounds like a bad word. I'm detached. But what it is sometimes you've got to detach and look at things from an outward perspective, like you're somebody else. And when you write, in order to see the problem in a more sober way, to be able to find solutions for it. So a lot of times when you detach yourself from the problem, and you by writing in the journal, that's what you're doing. So if I have a problem right now and it's bothering me, and I'm confused and I'm scared and I don't know how to solve the problem, if I sit down and I write the problem in my journal, I write down all my feelings, I write down exactly what's going on and what I'm feeling, and then I come back and I read it. Now I'm reading it from a detached point of view. I'm reading those thoughts. They were my thoughts, but when they were inside me, I was full of confusion and I didn't know what to do. But when they're on paper, it's almost like I'm somebody else reading somebody else's thoughts. And that makes it easy for me to be able to look at this and detach myself, but to look at it from a problem solver perspective, which is what I encourage you to do when you read your thoughts back if they're negative. And then now you can be able to say, wow, that's very negative, what I said to myself there, what I was thinking there. And realistically speaking, no, that's not how life is. So now I can solve this problem in such and such way. I can't think of a perfect example of a problem right now that we could work through to show you this example, but we're going to go deeper into this on other videos about detaching and problem solving from a detached point of view, so that you can actually almost be like two different people. And that's advanced, y'all. That's why I said watch every episode in succession, because we're gonna get more and more advanced in this on how to beat depression. We're gonna get more and more advanced in different ways to do this, and detaching is one of the ways. You detach from those feelings and you're almost two different people. You're another person looking at the problem from a different perspective, and then you can actually solve that problem. But we're not gonna go deep into that. But the journaling helps you with that without you realizing that is exactly what you're doing. It also gives you a sense of control. Journaling gives you a sense of control. You feel like when you feel like your thoughts are out of control, when you put them on paper, the writing itself is an action. You're taking action, and it makes you feel like you're taking control of your thoughts and you're taking control of your life. Journaling also reveals your thought patterns and helps you understand the source of your stress. This is a huge one, people. If you take nothing else from this video, I want you to take this. A lot of times, and we've talked about different types of depression. So do not write me talking about, oh, that's not medically sound, which is saying because depression is not just caused by thoughts, and some people are clinically depressed and they don't know why they're depressed. Don't write me saying that. Watch all my other videos first. This is the 4th video. Watch all the other videos in entirety so that you can understand where I'm coming from and what type of depressed person I am trying to speak to and help here. But that was a side note. But if you find that your thoughts are the reason that you feel that you get the negative feelings that you get, this is a good way to reveal what those thoughts are. When you write down in your journal, I'm speaking this from experience, and you come back and you read this journal, then you start to realize thought patterns. You start to realize self-esteem issues in there. You start to realize that there are things that you're saying to yourself that are not mentally healthy for you. You're saying negative things to yourself. Your inner dialogue is very negative towards yourself. You start to see this. You start to realize what these patterns are. You start to pick them out. You don't even have to be a doctor or expert or anything. You naturally start to see. I remember when I first started journaling, and I'd come back and read my journals when I was having a bad day, and then when I was having a good day, I'd come back and read my journals, and I'd say, wow, that's extreme. I actually said that? That is extreme. I said, I hate my life? That is extreme. And then you start to ask yourself, well, how can I change these thought patterns? Which we're going to get into this in 5 minutes here. How can I change my thought patterns and my inner dialogue from negative to positive? But in order to recognize those thought patterns and to be aware of them and to comprehend how you can help yourself, you have to journal so you can see this. It's like drawing a map, and you see this map and where you're coming from, when you're going. Lastly, journaling helps you to track your progress. I know that right now I have so many journals because I started journaling years ago. When I go back and read journals from years ago, I can like pat myself in the back and say, wow, Lisa, you've come a long way. Journaling helps you to see your progress. You might not think that you're making progress, even from day to day or week to week. You may be watching these videos here and doing other things that I suggested on other videos to get help and to get yourself out of bed and to get you going through life and to get you feeling a little better. But as you journal, you're going to start to realize from the first day you journal, and then like maybe 6 months from now you're journaling, you're going to start to see your inner dialogue is changing. How you talk to yourself is changing by just reading your journal. It shows you how much progress you make, and it helps you to even make more progress on the journey of overcoming depression, because you start to realize that you can actually overcome it. You start to see the power you have. You start to see, wow, I was so down that first day I wrote in my journal, and now 6 months later, I may still be feeling a little blue, but I'm not as bad as I was back then. Can you believe the stuff I wrote back then? And that's gonna give you more power, more fuel to move forward, and you're gonna want to keep going on this journey of discovering yourself and becoming a better version of yourself, enjoying life more and becoming happier. So now let's finally look at the tips for journaling before we come to the conclusion of this video. I would say start today. Tip number 1, start today, start now, and start anywhere. Don't overthink it. What I always do, and I have people that also watch on YouTube that say this, and I thought it was just me, but then realizing other people do that also is really cool. I'll go to my favorite bookstore, or I don't know, the stationery department in my favorite supermarket or whatever, and I will find a book that is beautiful. I like the cover. It's an empty, it's a blank page book with it's ruled and everything, but I try to find one. Like one of my journals is all leather on the outside. One of them had an angel, engraved in it. I have some that have floral patterns on the cover. I have my travel journal has airplanes and stuff like that on there. Find unique books that you're drawn to, that you like how they look, that make people curious. Like, what is that? That leather bound book looks so beautiful. What is that? Because what's that's gonna do, we've talked about that before, is another thing you're doing for yourself that makes you feel good. You're buying yourself something that makes you feel good. Every time you pick that journal up and you feel that leather cover, you look at the florals, or it has birds, or it has a picture of Rome, stuff that makes you feel good. That's gonna make you feel good already, and you're gonna want to write in that journal. That's gonna become your best friend. So start today. Go to the store, get you a journal. If you don't have any money, don't sweat it. Take any piece of paper or book that you have, something you can afford. I don't care. Draw on the cover. Make it yours. Get something that you relate to and write in there. Start today. Don't overthink it. The other thing is let it all out. Write anything. Don't overthink it. What are you feeling today? I don't care. Write it. Nobody else is going to read it but you. Write your thoughts in there. Don't think about, what am I going to write? You're not writing a bestseller, New York bestseller book. No, you're writing your own thoughts in your own journal that only you are going to read. So just write. Start anywhere. Start in the end and move your way backwards. I don't care where you start. Start now and write everything. Let it all out. So I don't care how ugly those feelings are, just write them down. Put everything down, because in the end it's gonna help you. You're the only one that's gonna be reading it. You're not gonna be sharing this with other people unless you want to. But so don't worry about what you're writing down makes you look, because in the end, when you come back and you read those feelings, then you're gonna be able to see it from an outward perspective. And if you feel like it's very negative, I'm about to tell you what you can do to combat that. But yeah, just let it out, write it down, write regularly. Write as many times as you want to in a day. Just keep writing in it. It's good for you. The other thing I can say is, and the last thing I want to say is, then we'll have a bonus tip, is try different things. Try different things. If there's someone you're angry at, maybe it's your mom or your dad or your brothers or sisters or a friend or just anybody that you feel like you're angry at. A lot of therapists always advise to write a letter to those people, but don't send it. The reason they say don't send it is sometimes those people are not ready to hear what you have to say, and sending that letter will actually cause more problems than good. So I would say write the letter in your journal. If you have somebody that you want to tell how you feel about something that happened that you're not happy with, write it in the journal. And then imagine that you're sending it to them, but don't send it to them. But just that release, just that writing down those feelings in a letter will help you to feel better. So try different methods. Write letters to yourself. This might sound crazy to people who are not used to these kinds of things, but if you are having a day when you're feeling very lonely, pretend that you're a friend or a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever you want in your life, and write a letter to yourself as that person, telling yourself the things that you would like to hear another person say to you. This sounds like a crazy concept, people, but I promise you it works. It works. If you're in that situation, it actually works, because you feel like you're able to give yourself what you're expecting other people to give you. Because in the past we've talked about how disappointing it can be when you expect other humans to give you that which you are missing inside, and it's not their fault. It's just that we've got to get ourselves, and as we get more advanced, like we said, it's like being in class. We're going to advance higher and higher as these episodes go. But we got to get to a point where it's not that we're antisocial or we feel like we're better than anybody or we're on an island, but you do need to get to a point where you can give yourself most of those things that you expect other people to give you, so you're not codependent on other people in order to feel happy, and you get your freedom, and that makes you feel a lot better than expecting and putting pressure on friends and family members and other people to make you feel good, because they're not equipped to do that. They don't know how to do that. They can't do that. And that's where a lot of those depressed feelings come in and inadequacy feelings come in. So writing in this journal and writing yourself letters and notes and your feelings and things that would make you feel better can be actually very beneficial towards helping you get to that point. Bonus point, people. Now we're getting to that bonus tip. If you take nothing else out of this video, I want you to take this with you. Sometimes journaling, if you're in a very dark place in your life, you'll find that every time you write in there, you write a lot of negative things. And if you do your research about journaling and why journaling is good for you, a lot of the times they'll have a disclaimer telling you, be careful not to go into negative thoughts too much, because then that'll put you back in the negative place, and not completely understand why they're saying this. I have, however, found a way to combat that and to beat that, and that is write down those feelings in your journal, however negative they are, but also have a gratitude journal. I told y'all I have a journal, then I have a gratitude journal. I have different kinds of journal. So buy another book that you like how it looks and write down. It's a gratitude journal, and it's also an affirmation journal. It could be the same thing, or you could have different ones. You could have just one journal that's an affirmation journal. So what you do is, when you go back and you notice the negative things that you're saying on your in your feelings journal, then when you go back to read those thoughts, have your affirmation journal next to you, pen and paper ready. And then just, if you read something that says, I'm just we're going to use very juvenile examples. We're not going to get very creative. Let's say you write down, I'm not worthy. Then write down in your affirmation book, I am worthy. If it says, I am not attractive or I'm ugly, write down in your affirmation book, I am attractive. If it says, I don't have any friends, then write down in your affirmation book, I deserve friends. I am a good friend. I deserve friends. One negative thing could result in 5 positive affirmations. So every time you read something negative in your journal, write the positive equivalent to it. You want to alternate between your feelings journal and your affirmation journal. You could also do it as a gratitude thing. If you say that, I don't have enough money, for example, you could write it as a gratitude and say, I'm not telling you to lie to yourself, but I'm just saying you can, fake it till you make it. You could write on there, I'm thankful that I had money to buy breakfast today, and what that's going to help you do. We're going to do another episode where we're going to go deeper into gratitude. But the gratitude sentences and the affirmation lines, when you come back now, the next day or whenever you have a chance, close the feelings journal, put it away, because you don't want to dwell on the negative thoughts. Pull out your affirmation journal, sit there and calm yourself, relax, and make sure you don't have distractions, and read these affirmations to yourself. Now, there are ways to read affirmations to yourself where your conscious mind doesn't play games and try to tell you, nah. And we talked about this a few videos ago, where your brain will be like, nah, you don't believe that, and stuff. There are ways to do that. Do your research on affirmations and how to make affirmations work in your life, and you'll find people who are actually experts that can tell you how to do this. But I'm telling you, it works if you just sit there and the best thing to do is do it when you're feeling down, but also do it when you're feeling good. If you have moments in your life when you're feeling good, that's the best time to do the affirmations, because you have the least resistance. So pull out your affirmation journal when you're feeling good that day, or your gratitude journal, and then just read those things you're thankful for, and read the affirmations. I'm worthy. I'm a good friend. I deserve good friends. I'm a good person. I'm this. I'm that. I am is a powerful word. I am is a powerful word. So tell yourself those things from your affirmations to start with I am, and then something positive. So that brings us to the end of our episode about journaling. If I've left anything out, or you have suggestions, you've tried the method yourself and it's worked for you, or you have questions about things that haven't worked for you, leave a comment down below. I welcome questions, comments, everything. If you want to help other people that are watching this video that are going to read the comments, you have something that you think I left out that would be helpful, feel free to do that. But I want to again thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that this has really been helpful for you. I'm looking forward to bringing more materials your way. Thank you for being a part of this, for always following me up, for subscribing, for watching these videos, and I hope that it is helping you immensely. And if it is, as you get aware of how much these videos are helping you, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe so you can get more of those. Share with your friends, somebody who might be going through this that needs to know how to do this. Feel free to share with them. Click like, and come back and see me more and more. Otherwise, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day or evening or night, wherever you are in the world, and ciao.